Obviously, a big one, the biggest one being Tyrone Woodley fighting Jake Paul in boxing. What is your thoughts on that, being a Hall of Famer?
Big?
Huh?
That's big.
To me, he's my friend, so it's a big thing. And the thing is like, Jake Paul's fighting a real guy. Tyron's been here. He's hit mitts. The guy can punch. He can strike. You know what I mean? He's a wrestler, but he can strike.
I agree. Tyrone Woodley has punching power, and obviously he's put a lot of dudes to sleep in his career. Tyrone Woodley doesn't look like, the Tyrone Woodley of the past that was putting everybody to sleep. He hasn't won a fight in 3 years. He's going to be 40 years old, but I will give it to him. He's at least stepping in there with a guy who can punch.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. I mean, the guy hasn't been tested yet, so hats off to Jake Paul for taking the fight. I mean, that's a hell of a big step. We went from Ben Askren to Tyrone Woodley, so hats off to him for doing that. But the funny thing is Jake Paul's actually the favorite on all the betting sites too.
Yeah, because it has to do with Woodley's age and his, he hasn't won a fight in 3 years.
Yeah. And he hasn't fought he hasn't not only fought a boxer, he hasn't fought a guy that trains in boxing yet. It's unbelievable. He's had 3 fights and he's such a big name, and he's never fought somebody that actually even just trains in boxing. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I said Woodley's 40 and hasn't won a fight in 3 years. You know who's who's calling me first on that one? Fucking Woodley.
What's your prediction on the fight, though? I mean, I know it's boxing rules, and I know Woodley's a wrestler, but he can punch. I mean, the guy can strike. I mean, Jake Paul hasn't fought a guy who can throw punches and move and have the ring experience Woodley has, and Woodley's been knocked out one time in his entire career at 4-ounce gloves. So it's different than Askren. Askren's been running from punches. Woodley's been engaging. So what's your prediction on that fight?
You tell me when the last time you saw Woodley look like Woodley.
But it doesn't matter. He's fighting Jake Paul. That's a big difference. He was fighting the best. Dana, you had him fighting Usman. You had him fighting Kobe. You had him fighting Gilbert. Name 3 other guys tougher than that in the welterweight division.
True. You're right.
So that's a big difference, right? So what's your prediction of the fight? Give me that. At least give me that. Jake Paul versus Woodley.
Well, I'd have to go with Woodley by knockout.
Yeah, I think so too.
Listen, man, Woodley should knock him out. But again, the Tyrone Woodley you talk about that was the champ isn't the same fucking guy he was, 4 years ago.
Well, I'm hoping Tyrone does. He's my boy, and he needs to stop this guy.